feel like your home is one giant I'll deal with it later pile? You keep telling yourself, oh, I'll get to that right after I finish work, get the dishes done, make dinner. Next thing you know, it's the following morning and you didn't get around to decluttering. The cycle essentially repeats itself and the clutter keeps growing.
Here's the hard truth. Those piles, those messes, they're not just eyesores. They're emotional baggage. Every time you look at the stack of unopened mail or that closet bursting at the seams, it's like a little ping of stress.
What if I told you that there's a way to declutter that's not just about tidying up, but also caters to your mind and your soul? This is why I absolutely love the process of mindful decluttering. It's not just about cleaning up, it's about clearing the mental clutter too. Because let's face it, we are all way too busy to waste our time on methods that just don't work. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how mindful decluttering can transform not just your space, but your entire life. So what is mindful decluttering? It's not just about tossing stuff or organizing your home like you're trying to win an episode of Netflix's Tidying Up. It's about being present. It's about being intentional. And yes, even a little bit selfish in the best way possible. And yes, I said selfish because decluttering is an act of self-care. And if you're anything like me, you can probably use a little bit more of that in your life. Let's start with a quick exercise. Close your eyes and imagine walking into a perfectly tidy room where everything has its place and there's no laundry pile in the corner of your bedroom. Feels good, doesn't it? Hold on to that feeling to motivate yourself to declutter. I love the thought of mindful decluttering because this is where you really connect to your home. It's a beautiful and gentle process where you treat decluttering as an act of kindness towards yourself, not just this tedious chore you have to go through. When you declutter in a mindful way while it's slower, you really think about the value that each item contributes to your home and your life. Do you really need everything in your wardrobe, or is it contributing to decision fatigue? Do you truly need that $50 jar of lotion that's not good for your skin, or does it make you feel guilty every time you pick it up because you spent so much money on it and don't use it? Mindful decluttering has a beautiful focus on you and your well-being. It allows you the freedom to say no to things that don't serve you. So how do you start this gentle process? So let's go old school. Grab a pen and pencil in that decluttering task. Seriously, if it's not written down, it's not going to get done. Write down something like, I will declutter the top shelf of my closet, or I will donate 5 items I never use. Keep it small, specific, and achievable. One of the most common mistakes I see being made is that we take in too much. We take in the big picture. A lot of my clients, when we start working together, they'll come to me and they'll be like, Margo, I have so much clutter in every room of my house. It's so overwhelming. I don't know where to start. And it's like everyone would feel overwhelmed if you take in the big picture of your entire home. Like, it's not just you. The best way to begin mindful decluttering is to start small. You do not have to tackle an entire kitchen. You can start with a drawer. You can start with a shelf. You can start with, your kitchen table. You can start with a couple of utensils. Little by little. Decluttering is less about these marathons that'll exhaust you and all about these gentle sprints. One drawer, one cabinet at a time, and before you know it, your entire kitchen is clutter-free and it's low stress. I'm a firm believer in bite-sized decluttering, and this is something that goes hand in hand with mindful decluttering, because as you're decluttering, you're connecting, or rather reconnecting back to your home. You're going through each one of your items and you're like, even how Marie Kondo likes to say, does this item bring me joy? Now, a lot of the items in our home, we're not really like it brings me joy. It's more like this is a practical item that I use, right? But when you're encountering items and you're like, I'm not sure if I should keep this, right? I'm not sure. I have not used this item maybe in the last year. Well, this is where mindful decluttering really comes in. It's really about like, is it worth it to keep this item, to hold on to this clutter? Is it worth it to hold on to this item for just in case, or maybe, emotional, sentimental value? Is it worth it? You have to, when you're mindfully decluttering, you have to prioritize yourself. And this is why I love to equate decluttering with self-care. Is this an item that makes you feel better? And if the answer is no, you have permission to let it go. Now, if you're still undecided, that's okay, right? Decluttering happens in phases, and you're going to be going through the same drawer, the same room multiple times until you achieve that clutter-free space that you desire. Tip number 2, you're going to schedule it in. Just writing something down is not enough for you to stick with the new habit. And I know scheduling things in is probably as fun as going to the dentist, but trust me, it works. Pick a day, pick a time, and set an alarm. Let's say Friday morning at 10 a.m. You've got 15 minutes to tackle that drawer, and when the alarm goes off, boom, you are done. And by the way, psychologists say that tackling these tasks first thing in the morning, when you're still feeling fresh and your energy's probably high, pencil in decluttering in the morning. That's your best bet. Because let's face it, by the time noon rolls around, you are way too busy to focus on decluttering. Tip number 3 is to make it fun. Crank up the tunes, listen to a podcast, or FaceTime your bestie. Who said decluttering has to be a bore? And trust me, once you get in the zone, you'll be surprised how much you can accomplish without even realizing it. I mean, who doesn't love a good dance break while decluttering? Just don't trip over that pile of clothing. When you're decluttering, be mindful of the items that you're choosing to keep. So you're making a schedule, you're penciling it in, you're having alarms going off, right? So now maybe you're sitting through that, dresser drawer. Your intention should be more on letting go than holding on to items. So as you're decluttering, right, and you're picking up each item, and this is not going to take you a very, very long time. You pick up the item, and let's say it's your clothing. You're like, okay, has this been in the laundry recently? By the way, one of the best ways to tell whether or not you should hold on to something, especially when you're decluttering clothing, is frequency of use. If this is a frequent flyer in the laundry, keep it. One of my favorite white t-shirts, okay? If then you pick up an item like this, which by the way I held on to for the purpose of this video, this would be typically something that I would wear. I recently purchased it on Shein, and then when it came, I don't love the material. So of course a part of me is like, but it's a nice shirt. Maybe I'll wear it someday. But the reality is when I put it on, it was so hot and suffocating, and this really isn't a material that's nice against my skin. I shouldn't keep it. The reason for keeping it just doesn't make sense, right? We are tempted to be like, it's brand new, I just bought it, I should keep it, but you're not gonna wear it. And when you do wear it, you're sweating. This is the kind of material that makes you sweat, okay? So you're not gonna wear it, so let it go. And you're gonna go one item at a time in short increments. And you're gonna be like, do I wear it? Do I love it? Am I going to wear it? If the answer is yes, then hold on to it. If the answer is no, let it go. One item at a time, mindful decluttering, gentle decluttering. This should not be an overwhelming process. And look, you can go, you don't even have to do an entire drawer. You can go 10 t-shirts at a time. You can go 5 pairs of pants at a time. You can go a few beauty products at a time, whatever you are comfortable with. The whole point is to go through one item at a time until all you have left are things that you need and that make you happy. And it will take as long as it takes, because the alternative is that if you continue to wait for inspiration or motivation to strike, clutter naturally doesn't decrease. Clutter naturally increases. So a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to be accruing more clutter. It's like debt. If we don't pay it off, right, it's gonna keep growing. It's not gonna get less, although I wish that it would. And finally, tip number 5, and this is something that I do with all of my one-on-one clients, it's treat yourself. Reward yourself for the work that you're doing. We're so quick to be like, oh, I decluttered, no big deal. It is a big deal. It does require a reward for yourself, right? It does require for you to do something nice for yourself so that you associate decluttering. This is positive reinforcement. And if it was so easy, your house would have been clutter-free already. So we want to build up that positive reinforcement. We want to increase motivation through positive reinforcement. So treat yourself. It can be something small like that, a little candy bar, or maybe you take an hour to watch the new season of The Circle, which is coming out, by the way, soon. I'm obsessed with The Circle. My rewards, because I'm a parent, I have my own business, I'm incredibly busy, I don't really have much time for watching TV, and whenever we do watch something, it's usually something my daughter wants to watch, and I do a lot of reading and whatnot. My reward sometimes is like a Netflix episode. So it doesn't have to be something astronomical. Now, if you or somebody like my client recently decluttered her entire kitchen in 2 weeks and she took herself out to a spa day, and this woman went atomic, okay? It's the complete opposite of mindful decluttering and gentle decluttering. But with that said, she decided to take herself out to a spa day. Well deserved. But you don't have to do anything that big. It's just something small and something nice to just say thank you to yourself. Celebrating every single small step towards a clutter-free home will make the process so much more enjoyable and will motivate you to continue to do it. If you want to take your home wellness to the next level, check out my on-demand masterclass. It's called Healthy Home, Healthy You. We dive deep into how decluttering your home can actually boost your physical and your mental health, and how organizing your home can actually help you eat better, exercise, and just feel amazing every single day. The link is in the description and it will motivate the heck out of you. All right, lovely. Until next time, remember that mindful decluttering is not just about clearing stuff, but it's making room for what truly matters. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to be good to yourself.